Baby, you know I don't pull out when we loving. Touching and kissing and licking. No, it's leaving your panties or something now. In my car, in my crib, I'm shining with this gold grill. I could give a what, how you feel. That booty and them toddlers on the rim. Take a breath of my blood, my hood.
The baby's basically sitting down on your bladder.
As
So the
usual.
bottom's down, yeah. Yeah. So baby's got a nice full bladder, which is this little dark area, this little fluid collection here. That's normal. Okay. Baby's bladder fills and it empties. Beautiful vessels going around the bladder. These are the arteries that carry the deoxygenated blood from the baby back to the placenta. It's oxygenated, goes back through the vein and the baby's umbilical. So it's just the same. Okay. Right. Okay, so 14 review that part. See it? There. We're just kind of facing down towards the floor. There's the 4 chambers right there. That's good. And there's normal heart rate. 141 beats a minute, so that's good. It gets faster as the baby starts to move, so just picked up a little bit. That's such a pretty floor. Look at the 4 chambers there. We'll take it.
The 4 chambers again is, what is that again?
The 4 chambers of the heart, so the 2 atria and then ventricles. Cross section through baby's belly. This is the whole circumference of the abdomen. This is the stomach. So baby swallows and the stomach goes. That's normal. You okay with your arm up there?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
Put a
fine.
hand by
No,
your
I'm fine.
side.
Thank you.
And then just looking at the kidneys. Oh, look at the breathing. Right. So see things sliding back and forth?
Yeah.
See? That's the baby's practice breathing.
Yeah, that's what
So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's A plus. That's good. So the little kidneys, the arteries, the baby's kidneys. These are all things that we've seen in the past that's taken really normal. Yeah, really moving around. Okay, so that's good. And we'll go here to the baby's head, and then I'll measure forward, okay? Just a little bit of hair coming off the back of the head. See it right there?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this really sharp. It's cute. See the hair? Placenta looks good. This is the placenta. See this kind of thicker gray area?
Yeah. Alright guys, hey, so I'm going to be doing kind of a voiceover style since we couldn't really talk or do much of an explanation during these doctor visits. So I am currently having high amniotic fluid as well as a breech baby. So we have been doing a lot of doctor visits every single week to monitor the amniotic fluid and trying to see if the baby turns. That's why we've been in DC frequently and staying at my mom's house and really haven't been home for the last 2 months due to the fact that our baby boy just wanted to stay in this comfortable position. So right here they're tracking the baby's heart rate, and making sure it's stable, and making sure my heart rate is fine and my blood pressure is fine. Also wanted to note that every time when I went to the doctor's office for the sonograms and all that, my blood pressure was completely fine. But every time when I went to the birthing center with Mannie to meet the midwife and talk to other pregnant women just for a support group and just a learning session, my blood pressure always increased due to the fact that I have social anxiety. And as the visits of the baby monitoring, the weights, and checking my vitals, there was a curtain, but we were still in an open room to where you kind of see the other pregnant women in their circle. So that's what was stemming my blood pressure to increase, because I don't really like people around, especially like with the whole social anxiety thing. So my midwife was very kind of hesitant and alarmed about that, and they didn't want me to risk having a natural birth because of my blood pressure. And as you guys can see where Mannie's hand was, the baby was literally nesting on my left side the whole entire time. His head was literally on my left side, and he will always kick and move, and I would literally feel him sitting on my bladder. The pressure and the weight of me carrying him just sitting on me was like very excruciating at times. I wouldn't say it was painful per se, but I would say it was very uncomfortable, like the weight of me carrying him on my cervix area, and just it felt like my stomach was constantly trying to burst and stretch when it couldn't anymore. So I was definitely ready to have this baby. The feeling made me very immobile at times during the day. Other than that, I had like a happy pregnancy, but these last few weeks was kicking me in the butt.
Just measuring the amniotic fluid right now.
So right now the doctor is tracking my amniotic fluid. When we started having these frequent visits, I had a 30 percentile, which is extremely high. And one of the doctors told me that I should cut down the carbs and eat more healthier, because as you guys know, I was a pescatarian before pregnancy. So I was eating a lot of carbs during pregnancy, like rice and fries and, you know, chicken here and there and a lot of seafood. So the doctor told me to eat more like fiber and like celery and peanut butter and just cut down the carbs. But then when I was speaking to my midwife, she was telling me that having a high amniotic fluid doesn't really stem from anything. Like doctors really don't know why it happens. It just happens, and the only way to kind of understand it is after having the baby. So it's not like per se genetics or anything on my part or what I was intaking or whatsoever. It just, if it happens, they just try to monitor it and, you know, try to have the safest delivery possible. I would like to add that yes, my amniotic fluid was at 30%, but every week when I went to the sonographer, it decreased by 1%. So every week it was like 29, 28, 27, and then it went to 26. And I wouldn't say my diet had really changed. I cut down on the carbs, but I was intaking lots of water. So if you do have amniotic fluid, I just say drink lots of water. And I mean, by lots, I mean increasing to the point where you weren't drinking that much before. I know during my pregnancy I was drinking water, but not as much as I was once they told me that I had a high amniotic fluid. So I try to increase my water intake to see if that helped, and it did decrease my amniotic fluid, but yes, it was still high. So yeah, I'm going to explain in a later video how that all transpired and the next steps of my birth plan, because my birth plan definitely had to change because of the fact of my blood pressure being high and the amniotic fluid and the baby being breech. So there's a lot of factors going into this, and it kind of worried me and frightened me at times because it was all scary, and I didn't really have much friends that kind of experienced what I experienced. So yes, definitely every pregnancy is different. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I was fine. I had high energy. I had no pregnancy symptoms, but it seemed like the last 3 or 4 weeks, I was just being hit with like the pressure of him sitting on my cervix, the expansion of my stomach, the weight of my stomach. I really had swollen feet, which also played a part with my blood pressure. I started having swollen feet around 36 weeks of pregnancy, like 35, 36 weeks, like the last 2 weeks before giving birth. I had really bad swollen feet and ankles and legs. Like they were in pain at times. Like I couldn't fit my shoes, which was very like a bummer moment. It kind of made me feel, I wouldn't say depressed, but very sad that I couldn't really fit any of my shoes or my slides because my feet was so swollen. And it kind of made me discouraged of wearing shorts anymore or dresses because of the fact that you can see my ankles when I wear sneakers or sandals. So I started wearing like leggings, even though it's freaking 90 degrees here and we're having heat waves and it's the summertime. So yeah, I was going through it for the last few weeks of my pregnancy, but other than that, I didn't really have any other symptoms. So my starting weight before pregnancy was 176 for your FYI, and my ending was 211. I was literally all belly and yeah, it didn't really look like I was carrying any weight. It just was literally all belly. Every time when the midwife or the sonographer would, you know, touch my stomach or, you know, measure my stomach, they would say, wow, you're like all belly, like you can literally feel his limbs, his head, exactly where he was positioned on my body. Like you didn't even need a sonogram. Like that's what they mean by all belly. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and let you guys know what's happening. This is a bit scary, but in the next video, we'll kind of explain more in depth, and you guys will hear the doctors and the next steps to proceed on with my new birth plan, since my original birth plan was to give a natural water birth, but since that is out the option because the baby is breech and because of them trying to track my blood pressure, they don't want to risk any complications with me giving birth. So yeah, you guys will see what happens next in the next video. So please give this video a thumbs up, comment down below any questions that you feel as though I didn't get too in depth in this video. I would love to answer it, and yeah, your concerns or just your support, you guys, because this ending of the pregnancy was a roller coaster ride and nonetheless very overwhelming and scary to a person, especially a new time mom, a new time person that's been pregnant for the first time. So yeah, subscribe if you aren't a part of the Imagy gang. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.